This is Mr. N coming at you from the bunker. This is part 2 to this mind map or multi-flow map video. And on this little segment, I want to show you how I was getting my shapes where I wanted them and so forth. And I'll show you some other formatting. So here we are. We're starting with the multi-flow map I created in the other video. And this topic was homelessness. And we can see the different aspects. And I use these arrows to kind of show the cause-effect relationships between the different aspects. Okay, so what I did is I set up this template, which you have available to you in the classroom. I made a copy for everybody. And what I did is I set up here a bunch of shapes in a shape bank and a place for your name that you can type your name into. All right, back to the shape bank. The way I did that was I just went to the insert and I went down to shape, and from the shape menu I selected some shapes I like to work with, and I thought it kind of worked well with this particular graphic organizer. Now certainly you could change the shapes in the shape bank. You could delete one and put a different one in and whatnot. But the convenience of the shape bank is it just has them sitting there and you can get right to them. Now, the way I did that was, you'll notice when I clicked on one, I never just dragged it out like that. You don't want to do that. Otherwise, there's no point in having the shape bank, because once you've used it, and then it's not in the bank anymore. So what I did is clicked on it, and then I'm using keyboard commands, and you need to learn those. So, but you don't have to use keyboard commands. You could either right click, I think, or use a keyboard. But I did on my computer, it's Command D, and I did that to duplicate the shape. So I hit Command D, and I can just continue to do that. Hold down the Command button and keep hitting the D button. I keep duplicating the shape. So now I have a whole bunch of them available to move. So that's how I got this first shape here. So I went to selected that, hit Command D, and then I was able just to drag it out and put it, where I needed to do so. And of course, if I don't want all these shapes, I can delete them. And that's what I'm going to do. So that's how I started with homelessness. Once I got the shape and I've dragged it where I wanted, you can resize it. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with all this. And then to type in it, and I'm just going to put the shape out here to show you. Now I've highlighted the shape. In order to type, I just double click it. And you could hear the two little clicks, and then I can just type in anything to show you how to do that. Okay, so that was how I got the shape. So I don't just drag them out of the box. I actually click on them, hit Command D, or right click and do duplicate. I could do copy paste, but duplicate is the quickest way. And I can make a bunch of shapes really fast and have them available. So I just put the ones I liked. So they're sitting there. I can get back to them. Another option is once I pull a shape out, I can duplicate this, and it's going to duplicate the word and everything. And then if I wanted to just type something else in, you do it that way. So you have some flexibility. Okay. So once you have your shape selected and you want to place it, now you can grab it. You see those 4 arrows, and you can drag it. And I'm using a trackpad, which, it's not my favorite way of doing it. I don't have a mouse hooked up at the moment. But that can be kind of tricky. So if you find using a trackpad tricky, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard, and it doesn't move it as fast, but it gives you a lot more control, and you can get it and fine tune the adjustment as to where you want that. So that's another option. And I was using the arrow key sometimes to do it. And certainly resizing the shapes by grabbing their corners were things I had to do quite a few times to get the words in there. Okay, so those are some of the basic how I did it. So I never dragged out. I clicked on it, hit Command D, and duplicated. And that's, the most convenient way to reproduce a shape. And then I either dragged it or used the arrow keys. And so you can also format, you can change the color. So if I just want to change the color of the shape itself, don't want to click on the word, you just want to get the shape highlight. You'll see there's no cursor in there. So let me do that again. If I just want to highlight the shape, and I already have a word in it, I just click on the shape. If I want to put the cursor in there and either fix spelling or add another word, you can see when I hover here, you actually see the cursor bar there. So I click on that, now I'm in there and I can add, more words. If I want to highlight the word because I want to change the color of it, double click it. Get the cursor over it and double click, you're going to highlight that word. Now I can change the color of the font. Back to the shape. If I want to change the color of the shape, just highlight the shape. I can go to my shape colors and, obviously you want to pick things you can see. You don't want to start getting shapes that are impossible. Like I wouldn't want to pick some other shade of red with red letters. I mean, that's kind of dumb. So in this case, I think the blue might work, but I don't even like red letters. So I'm going to go back to the black. But you get the idea. These arrow keys, you can actually write in the arrow keys as well. I didn't do that, but there's a reason you might want to do that. Like, so I might use the word results. So I could say that homelessness, let me move this box now. Homelessness or natural disaster results in homelessness, or homelessness, and let me just put this one over top so we can get the idea, results in inadequate food. So, or shelter. And that way you can kind of define what these arrows mean, or maybe doesn't result in it, but maybe I want to use the word contributes. So I could even become more elaborate with my multi-flow map and kind of show what the relationships are by using words. Now, this type of map, I mean, you can create a graphic organizer in any class using this kind of setup. It doesn't just have to be digital literacy. There might be times when you want to display information, you want to turn in a final product. So you can spend a lot of time and really format it and make it look quite smart. And it's just up to you and your formatting. I mean, for the purpose of this lesson, you just want to get your ideas down. So you don't want to spend all your time fiddling with formatting and picking shapes. I've kind of done that for you. For the purpose of a final presentation, then yeah, you're going to get in here and look at your menus and really tweak it and make it look as nice and smart as possible. So anyhow, that's the basic idea. If you have trouble with this, just raise your hand as you're working. I'll come around and help you. But you want to kind of learn your keyboard commands, how to duplicate, copy, paste. Using keyboard commands can save you a lot of time. It's easier than mouse clicks. It's easier than going up to the edit menu, which we could use. I didn't even show you that just because I think the best way, or actually here, the best way to do that is, I really think, using the keyboard command. All right. So again, explore this, work with it, have fun. If you have trouble, raise your hand and I'll come around and help you. Good luck.